Moving on to the next phase of our agenda, public participation. Residents who would like to participate remotely during public comment sessions must complete the request to speak form. Those in attendance must print their name and address on the sign-in sheet at the podium for accurate record keeping. In either case, please state your name and address for the record. Students, please state your name only. There is a 3-minute time limit. Written statements may be substituted for board members if time runs out for the speaker. Inappropriate topics, confidential information, personnel issues, and legal concerns. Please avoid derogatory and profane language. Immediate replies to questions, concerns should not be expected, although the board chair superintendent can do so at his discretion. Questions of general interest can be submitted using the Ask the Superintendent form. So at this time, I invite individuals from our public to come to the podium or the table. Welcome.
Yeah, well, belated New Year. Good evening. Tom Stringfellow, 183 Hillstown Road, and happy belated New Year. Hope 2022 is a good one for our school system and the whole society. Dr. King's holiday is coming up a week from today, the 17th, and I heard on the radio, I guess it'll be the 38th year that was written into law by late President Ronald Reagan, and I think Connecticut was the first state to recognize it in 1979, so I'm hoping we can live through his meeting about becoming better Americans and what had happened on January 6th. You don't want that to happen anytime again, but with the rise of hate groups, as I mentioned before, and what's on the internet, we could do better as Americans, because I think a lot of people are suffering now with what happened with storms and homelessness and other afflictions that we need to, pull together. And as a student had said before, I guess with COVID, I think in this morning's Current, they said Omicron putting parents in a bind. That was in the Hartford Current this past Sunday, January 9th article. And I guess the CDC director, Ms. Walensky, had talked about a sharp rise in young kids hospitalized due to COVID stirs concerns of top doctor, and that was in Saturday's January 8th edition of New York Daily News. So, and I guess to encourage maybe some of the teenagers to get a booster shot. So that was just in the news recently. But hopefully dealing with the mask and the vaccine, I heard on the radio this morning on a program where we live about children's rights versus a parent's rights. If one parent doesn't want the child vaccinated and the child wants to be vaccinated, and they got into different scenarios and with students helping out in different ways, such as this, Stanford being like peer-to-peer counseling that way, and it's a family matter, but you want all students to go to school safely. Tomorrow on the show where we live, they talked about Asian American history, and I think it's important because of backlash that happened because of COVID and racism of the past to the present. And I wanted to recommend a book by Dr. Erica Lee, The Making of Asian America. Came out in 2015. She wrote another book I'd mentioned a while ago, America for Americans, and it's a very good book, and she's of Chinese American background, and she lives in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Let's see. I know you got the budget committee meeting coming up, one of your first ones, and I wanted to recommend a book that came out almost 2 years ago, Schoolhouse Burning, Public Education, Assault on American Democracy, by attorney law professor Derek W. Black. He's Caucasian background, but I heard him on the radio one time. He talked about the importance of public education, but how it was ill-funded through racism, discriminatory past in the North, the South, and the Midwest. He goes through historical presence, even back in 1855, when a black father had to file suit in Boston, Massachusetts, for his 2 daughters to go to school. So, and what happened in South Boston when I was a college student in the 70s, it was a real ugly time. So we could be doing better. I know we got critics about vouchers and charter schools and private schools, but we have to take all comers. So I think I was a public school student, and we have to invest more in it and do it the right way and hope to have better incomes and really inform parents and critics out there, whether you have children or not, you know, we want our tax dollars to be spent, you know, wisely. So, and I guess in Connecticut Magazine, I'll end on this, that just came out, they talked about Native American artifacts they found in Avon, Connecticut, so that's out on the newsstand right now. It's worth getting because they were here first, so we have a proud state. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members in the audience who would like to come up to speak?